Hello internet, Yulia speaking. Please ignore my slightly rained upon state, but a new month is commencing and everything weirdly is starting to feel kind of right. Because I guess there's certain things that you enjoy living in, each country has their own kind of nice things about it. But here I'm starting to feel like the climate is just really mine. Like when I first arrived, guaranteed it was very hot, but definitely not hotter than like peak summer in Malta would have been. And now it's kind of rainy, but it's not like the heavy rain heavy in the sense of like cloud cover and like air pressure, I guess, that you get in the UK. Because here, for example, it could rain like relatively heavily in terms of like downpour, but then like you get sunshine and then maybe it rains a bit more and then sunshine again, so you don't ever have the feeling of like intense cloud cover, which actually gives me headaches in the UK. So I feel like, I don't know why I'm talking about the weather but it just feels very me at the moment, which is a very pleasant part that I found out about my stay here. Anyways, October is commencing. That's weird. I still don't really know what I'm doing, but it's sort of, I sort of know what I'm doing though, that's helpful. I'm figuring out my like note-taking stuff and how to follow lectures. I still have not discovered the libraries, but to be fair, even at my own uni, like it took me ages for me to actually gather up the courage and go explore the library. I have explored a lot of restaurants, mostly Korean ones and mostly for takeout, because I don't know, going by myself is a bit awkward and sitting in a restaurant. And I don't know, generally when I go exploring, I just kind of want to walk around and get lost a bit, and that generally doesn't happen with people, and then I get hungry and I want to go eat something. So it's not like I would plan to go to a restaurant with people, although I have done that a couple times as well, but it's not the same vibe. And I don't know, when you're just making friends with people, I guess you're not sure if they would want to go to the same food places as you would. Also, this piece of hair is really bugging me, and my fringe is now splitting in two because it's too long. And also my hair feels too long, and that's weird to say because this is like the shortest my hair has ever been in years, but I want to like cut it into a proper bob, but I don't know if I have the courage to do that here in French, or if I'm just gonna wait for like whenever I'm back home next. We'll see. You can generally tell with me how quickly I had to get out of the door in the morning by the state of my fringe, because if I don't curl it properly, it does this. Especially now that it's so long. Yeah, I really don't like 8 a.m.s. Luckily, at least, the one good thing about this 8 a.m. in the middle of the week is that I actually have to get up early, and then right after it I have 3 hours of nothing before my next lecture, so it kind of forces me to already be awake, and then once I'm awake I'm like, well, I guess I have to work on something. I enjoy living on top floors, but not when the elevator stops working. Oh my god.
It's not easy, easy, easy. Ooh, 'cause you say you don't need me, need me, need me. Living in the summer, it didn't last too long. And Lord never loved her. I love the way she calls. She calls. Whoa, these days it's not easy, easy, easy. Ooh, 'cause you say you don't need me, need me, need me.
I'm slightly very drenched, but it wasn't that great of a hair day anyway, so who cares? It's been a while since I gave a little update on the current France situation. So here's just me saying random things that have been coming to mind recently. I did hear of the stereotype quite a lot. It's just, you know, it's something that every country just has their stereotypes. And generally, I try to acknowledge them, but not necessarily believe them unless I have like actual first-hand experience. And so I did know that people say that French people smoke a lot. But God, has it been getting on my nerves lately. Like, I don't care generally if other people smoke or not. Like, I don't smoke, but you know, it's their life, so it's not like I'm gonna do something about it. But literally every single building, because obviously like you're not allowed to smoke inside, so every single building right outside the doors, anytime you walk out of like a lecture hall, like at the building of the lecture halls and stuff, it's just this like poof of smoke. And like it's become a habit that like I stop breathing right as I go out the door and then like walk 10 meters and then like breathe in again, gasping. It bugs me so much. I feel like the second-hand smoke is just slowly killing me from the inside, metaphorically and realistically, probably also literally. Trying not to let it get to me too much though. So this is just a rant to get it out of my system. Not the smoke. I think that's gonna take a while to go out. This is not the best lighting, but I'm tired of standing up. In other news, I've become exceptionally lazy with just like my workload, and I think it's because there's like a week and a few days until the first holidays, which means that my hair is far too long because it's been this is a fringe, if you couldn't tell, but also it means that it's been basically 2 months already that I've been here, and I'm very tired, and I want a week to not even necessarily do nothing, but just to have no responsibilities that I have not imposed on myself, if that makes sense. So I don't mind working on like making notes from the lectures and like figuring out stuff of like my own workload and my timetable and like other stuff I'm working on. That I don't mind. So it's not necessarily that I want a whole week to like hermit and do nothing, which I mean that would be nice, but like also realistically no, bad idea. So I'm really tired of always having somewhere to be and some important document that I'm thinking about. Also, just like doing the dishes is really killing me lately. I kid you not, I like sometimes it goes a week and I've used up every possible bowl and mug, and only when I have absolutely nothing to eat from and am slightly dying inside from the amount of junk food consumed, only then do I do the dishes. Yeah. Not the best thing, but you know, I own up to it. In other news, language learning is going very differently for Korean and Japanese, which is odd. And I can't decide. I mean, realistically, teachers do have, like, make a big difference on whether you learn a lot or not. But I also think in my case, it's just that I get so much more Korean exposure. Because basically, anytime I go for a Japanese lesson, I feel very lost because generally I have not reviewed the material because it's just not really a priority, which is not the best. Why start a language when you're not going to work on it properly? That's just me talking to myself. But also, I think I don't know, I guess the way she presents us with the material, I'm just having a hard time grasping it, because she really does focus on speaking, which is great. Like, it's always important that, like, if she only did grammar, like, realistically that would be worse, because speaking is the, like, most important aspect of trying to learn a language. But she often would give us lots of phrases that are very dense in grammar and would just sort of go, oh, like, memorize it because, you know, it's a useful phrase, which is understandable, but also I can't do that because of, like, the linguist in me. Like, I need to dissect it. I need to understand in order to remember the phrase. So I'm having issues with her methodology. Yeah, so I feel like until I take initiative and learn some of the stuff myself, I'm not really going to be enjoying the Japanese lessons much. But we'll see how it goes. By contrast, Korean has been surprising me a lot. And by that I mean I have been surprising myself a lot, because I've, like, before this, I was studying it by myself, or, like, at the very, very beginning with a tutor, sort of student tutor. Anyways, like, back at my uni for a while, but that was, like, very beginning, so it was mostly just Hangul and basic, I don't know, beginning stuff. Anyways, but now this course is doing more, like, actually interesting grammar, I guess. And, like, the reason I've been surprising myself is that the books that I'm using to teach myself, I guess they're just too easy because of the amount of Korean that I immerse myself in. So there's constant material that I'm reading online that has some Korean, or, like, I'm watching K-dramas or, like, variety shows or listening to music. So I feel like I'm learning the language mostly by hearing it. So the grammatical rules and tons of vocab that they're giving in, like, the textbooks that I'm studying from just don't feel very interesting to me, because they are, like, very beginner stuff. Whereas the class that I'm attending right now, she's, like, she would present, like, a piece of grammar, a topic, I suppose. And so far, every single time, I've been like, oh, I've heard that. And from, like, the way that people were speaking, I understood the meaning. But now it, like, actually properly clicks in my head, and I can use it myself because I understand, like, how to conjugate it and how to add the suffix and all of that sort of stuff. And I feel like that is just so much more useful than, like, any of the content that I've been learning in books so far. And I think that's because the books are actually a lower level than I sort of automatically, like, came to. So it's weird because I feel like I can comprehend a higher level, like a much higher level than I can speak. So my point is that it's really awesome that she's, like, teaching us the stuff that I feel like I know, but now can actually use. And that was basically the extent of my rant. I haven't been filming that much lately, Quite honestly, I've been in a weird rut-like situation with content and work, and you know, as I mentioned, the whole I'm tired thing. So hopefully I'll get back to that soon. If not in the next week and a half, I'm sorry, but definitely in the holidays. I still need to upload everything I've filmed so far, but we'll get to it, you know? We'll get there.
So long silent movies, to quiet dances on the screen. So long to burning slowly, smelling sweat and kerosene. And all the actors on the stage are rolling cigarettes and whispering so low. Call my parents up, tell them I'm not coming home. So long silent movies, to waking early, staying late. I think I'll head on down to Reno and try my hand at real estate. And I'll fix up a Cadillac and find a girl who likes to dance so slow. Call my parents up, tell them I'm already home. But I swear I've seen my share of black and white. And I swear this screen never tells the story right. So long silent movies and all the talking in between. Cleaning dust off of the press box and fixing broken tape machines. Wasn't much of an actor, was I? I ain't much of anything at all. But I can't see those marquee lights that are hanging on the wall. But I swear I've seen.
A quick little evening update today, but I guess I forget how much energy you actually get from, I don't know, hanging out with people that you care about, so family and just really close friends, because actually my parents have come to Strasbourg for just like 2 or 3 days, and we're exploring and being very touristy and like going to restaurants that I generally wouldn't go to by myself, as in like not just because I wouldn't want to go to a restaurant by myself, but just like much nicer places than I would tend to afford on like my student budget. And then also just like doing a bit of shopping and looking at attractions with more of a tourist and traveling viewpoint than just places that you pass by every day. And it's weird because my holidays have basically only just started, but because they came here in the last few days when I still had lectures and stuff, I feel like I actually managed to rest in those few days. And now when I go to Malta for like my actual week of holidays, I'll properly be able to start catching up with things that I've kind of been putting off because I've been like too tired after a day of lectures or something. And I am becoming very optimistic that I'm actually going to be able to catch up with stuff and properly understand things finally, and hopefully be ready for like any tests and assignments that come afterwards. So yeah, the current vibe is very happy and positive. So I just thought I'd update on that.
Woke up at 11 o'clock, I ain't got no job, what the hell should I do today? This feel like some I don't give a fuck, oh my god, shut the fuck up, I ain't hearing what you gotta say. What the deal, how you feel, not important. All I'm thinking about is riding in these Porsches, but don't be coming at me with that horse shit. Acting like you know me, that's the worst shit. I know in my soul, like this fucking cold, that's just how it goes. These days I don't get no sleep. Fuck 'em all, they don't know me. Couple minutes and I'll be good. Let me drink my coffee. Back up. That's the greeting you gon' get if you step up. Messed up, what I been and done when I tense up. That patience were now playing dress up. I don't get it. Big sales on them big meals. Got a pocket full of coupons, we gon' eat well. And you know I got them refills. Got my dimes and the coffee Vince playing on the JBL. Lately I don't go to sleep unless the sun is up. Think I'm wasting all this time feeling kinda stuck. Not enough reps on the chest, who the fuck does legs now? Way too busy feeling stressed out. I'm just tryna get ahead now. Going out, I'm just tryna get ahead now. Been a while since I stepped out. Too young, waited out, dropped out from the school, so I woke up at 11 o'clock. I ain't got no job, what the hell should I do today? This feel like some I don't give a fuck, oh my god, shut the fuck up, I ain't hearing what you gotta say. What the deal, how you feel, not important. All I'm thinking about is riding in these Porsches, but don't be coming at me with that horse shit. Acting like you know me, that's the worst shit. I know in my soul, like this fucking cold, that's just how it goes. These days I don't get no sleep. Fuck 'em all, they don't know me. Couple minutes and I'll be good. Drink my coffee. Feeling good don't last a long time. Been a long time coming, hitting stop signs. Cross-faded till I'm cross-eyed. Lost my sense of who I was, who I am. It's the wrong guy. Thoughts gon' multiply, boss with it. Be a boss with it, cost with it. What this motherfucker costing me constantly. Run your little mouth.
Wanna see?
It's ready.
Go.
Slowly.
No, that's our spot.
I need my coffee. I need my caffeine. I need my caffeine. Go get my coffee. I need my coffee. I